New this morning, a new study showing how many Americans actually rely on social media platforms to get their political news. Facebook has become a prominent source for Americans ahead of elections, but with the so-called, quote, fake news trend, some are still skeptical.
Do you use Facebook for political news ever?
Definitely.
And Clayton Moore is not alone. More than 1 in 5 Americans got their political news from Facebook during the 2016 election cycle, compared to 1 in 15 who used websites like Fox or Yahoo, and 1 in 30 for MSNBC's website. Those numbers from this report on how social media impacted recent presidential elections.
Many Americans are bumping into politics in a way that they didn't used to because it shows up in their feed.
Professor R. Kelly Garrett is the author. He says social media sites are often flooded with phony information. So in 2016, several hundred Americans, a large representative sample, were surveyed at 3 points during the election cycle, including once after the election.
For each person, see how did this person's use of social media change and what influence did that change have on their beliefs.
The group that came across and believed phony news at the end of the survey process, somewhere between 32 and 14% of social media users based on the claim. Garrett is encouraged that number was not higher.
The false claims were a small number compared to the number of conversations happening about politics.
Clayton, who logs onto Facebook daily, says that's why he's always healthily skeptical of what he sees.
So I like to research things before I actually, take it into an account.
Well, I guess in this day and age, you can never be too careful and doing your research, making sure you're getting the right information.
You can, and the professor behind the study, really emphasized to me, he said, I'm not saying that this isn't a problem, that there's some phony feeds and stories floating around on social media, but he said also it's encouraging that, in his words, Americans seem to be, pretty sharp when it comes to spotting what's what.
And very interesting. Thanks, Pete.